Hello and welcome to a Twitch stream, obviously, of the Majestic Q-400. We're going to do a short flight here. Our plan is to fly with Active Sky Next running, and we may actually jump on that sim. I do not know yet. I've not made up my mind on that. But we'll be flying from Cairns to Townsville. Basically recreating something like a Qantas Link flight or the like.
Check that one more time, please, Captain.
And we will actually go mute ourselves over there so we're not talking to our co-pilot. So, okay. Our goal is to do this flight here. So, Canberra, Townsville. We're going to go through all the planning and everything on here. We've gotten a random amount of passengers. We've only got 29 on this flight, so not that many. And I'm using a slightly outdated version of PFPX. I haven't updated it since before Christmas, and there was a new version out. But it was taking forever to download, and I'm sore and just not in the mood for it. So, yeah. We're going to find ourselves a route. And we've got a pretty standard one here. Takes us out to Cairns and then back in. Now, if I double check my actual charts, it looks right. It's going in the right direction, and it does not break any of the planning rules. So we'll actually keep this one, but we do need some alternates. I'll probably actually go close my front door in a moment because somebody's mowing their lawn somewhere or something. We're going to set our alternate to be Mackay down here. It's well within the limits for what we need for an alternate. So our alternate will be Whiskey Bravo Mike, not Tango, Yankee Mike, Yankee Bravo Mike Kilo. So this is our flight plan so far. We don't need to worry about any extra stuff for ETOPS or the like. We're not spending any large amounts of time over the water and high there. So we'll be able to basically keep our fuel to a minimum, but we are going to actually put in an extra hour worth of fuel time just in case. And we will be running the APU at some point. So, okay, this gives us our basic route. We'll tell it we want to compute it. and it's given us our flight plan. Which, looking at everything, looks good. So with that done, we need to go set up some weights and the like in the Q400. So we'll jump over to here. We're not so much worried about this section as some of the other ones. We know our zero fuel weight here, and this is in kilos, this is in kilos. So we can set this up one of two ways. We can either manually balance it out, in which case we know from here that we have 29 adult passengers. So we'll put 10 in there, 10 in there, and 9 in there. And we had 379 kilos worth of cargo. So we'll actually stick all the baggage in the back. Take off a fuel. Is going to be our release fuel, so 2808. We're expecting to use a 703 the trip. And we need to do an adjustment on our weight and balance here. Then basically we've got things a little bit too far back. And if we look at some of the numbers, we're well outside. So we need to shift some weight forwards. So what we'll do here is we'll take 5 out of the back here and we'll stick 5 in the front. Oh, we didn't want to do that. There we go. So we're back within the takeoff limits in our trim envelope. We're just going to check our numbers here. So these are our and zero fuel mass. So basically this number has to be roughly the same. And at the moment it's 1,000 kilos out. But that's part of the reason we put the extra fuel in. So this is now done. We will need this a little bit later on. We are going to need one more web page in a little while, just to make our life easier. That's this little web page here. What this allows us to do is work out our performance. So we know we'll be taking off from Yankee Bravo Charlie Sierra. Based on our planned flight plan will be taking off on runway 33. It is currently, I believe, dry. But we will find active sky, which I believe I have open here. And we will double check. So yes, it is currently dry at Cairns. Okay. And our takeoff weight, which is why we needed this. Is going to be 24080. So this will give us our V climb and everything that we'll need in a little while, which is good. So we're not going to actually bother with FS co-pilot and the like for the moment. We're just going to do a flight. So there won't be much talking with ATC or the like. So we need to come back to prepared. We're going to pause and turn the sound back on here. And we're going to run through some checks. So we know the flight logs are right. We know our circuit breakers are correct. Circuit breakers are good. Radar is off. Landing gear is down. Master bus tie is tied. Flight deck displays are on. Position lights are on. Standby pumps are off. Down here. And up here are off. External power is on. We know the latest landing gear is good and ready to go, and we need to turn on our FMS. And we also want to hit the...
Hi Captain, how are you today?
Good, yourself? Good. One.
I'm out for the walk around.
Okay. Roger. One. And okay, one thing we should note here is obviously we need our ATIS and everything. I'm doing this flight a little spur of the moment, so I'm not as organised as I would like. But what we can do is on my Navigraph charts, presuming I've not closed them over here. So this is Cairns aerodrome information. You can see that ATIS is on 131.1. Let's see if prepared actually has it correct. Okay, so it's kilo, but it's giving us this in the old style, which is wrong. And Australia uses Q&H, so we're going to actually cheat slightly here to get it. Q&H is currently 1018. I could have done a conversion on it, but I'm not in the mood. So that gives us our Q&H. DC batteries, we're using the ground power unit at the moment, so we want all off. AC on, main base high tide. Open them because the first officer needs them for his walk around. The ELT is armed.
Hi guys, can we start boarding now?
Yes.
Thank you, talk to you again soon.
Oh, I'm missing something here and I can't remember what it is. I know there's one up here I'm missing. But for the life of me, I can't remember what it is, so screw it. We'll move on. Panel lighting, we want just a little bit here. Actually, no, we don't. Don't need it. So, actually, a nice bright day. Landing altitude, we will need to set. We will be landing at Townsville. Townsville's altitude, we could either just go grab a chart, but I actually have a physical chart for Townsville. Thanks to a good friend of mine. So we're going to use it. Actually, no, I don't have the standard one. It's elevation's 18. So basically this needs to be set to 0, and it is on here. I'm just having a brain fart. So our landing altitude is basically a 0. We want this on auto. We want this fully counterclockwise, or closed as it is better known as. We want yeah, Maddie, this is prepared, not FSX. I just you can't put FSX in. Position lights on, no smoking. This is no smoking, no drinking, no screwing flight. So we will do that. We also want people to have their seatbelts on. I'm not always the greatest of pilots. And they're all good. And continuing up the list here, recirculation on. Bleed 1 and 2 off. That's a minimum. On our packs. We'll need to remember to switch these back, of course, later.
Back from the walk around, everything looks good.
Thanks. And why do I get the feeling the GPU was not connected?
May I take your food, please? Thank you.
Oh, let's do this. departure will be that. We will be, yes.
Bank angle.
May I take your code, please? Thank you.
What did we program? What did we say we were doing? A flight 10. Departure bleeds will be on when we get out a little bit.
Lights
And you
low.
can have them in FSX as long as you're
up.
running DX10.
Terrain. Terrain.
There's no concerns.
Pull
believe.
up.
May I take your code, please?
TCAS system test okay.
Need to get this back up and actually and get it loaded again. So we're running a little bit behind. Come on, pass, 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 pass. Shift this down. Grab this and move it over to here. Do that for now. Okay, so first things first, let's get our flight plan in here. We are going to be flying from Yankee Bravo Charlie Sierra to Yankee Bravo
Code, please.
Tango Lima. And we just hit the wrong one. We want that menu. Our departure will be on runway 33. And we will be doing, because we're going to be going out and joining basically we're not going to be doing a star if I'm not wrong, because we just basically want to go straight to Cairns. So we will not be using a sit or a star. So for the most part we can actually ignore that. We want it to list, we want a VOR, and we'll be heading for Cairns first, and we just put that in the wrong order. Delete that one, click there, click list, click VOR, and we want 1. So we're going to Cairns, VOR, then we'll be joining the Victor 163 airway. And for some reason it's not showing it. Okay, maybe it goes off the NDB. Let's delete that one. List. List. There we go. Goes off the NDB. Victor 134, I believe it was. No, it's 160. 163. It's hard. 153. No, the DX10 stuff, to get it to work properly, you need a add-on tool for FSX. Later on TeamSpeak, if you ask me, I'll give you some more info on it. Okay, so at the moment, this is looking correct. So that's our flight plan done. We need to do our performance and fuel data. So here we're lucky. We know, apart from the fact I did not close it down good, we know our zero fuel weights, so we can cheat here. We know our gross weight, so our zero fuel weight is, if we go back to weight and balance, just here, so we're 21272. And our gross, which is obviously our takeoff mass, is just here, but we can do this one of two ways. Our quickest way is to go, okay, we have current fuel on board, 1395 1405. There is another way of doing this too. Basically, if you're doing this properly, you wouldn't actually do it this way. You'd work out how much you'd have on takeoff and do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm still wrapping my head around that part of the training from the Q400 stuff. We need our trip fuel is 703. Actually, we don't need that. We need our alternate 772. Our hold fuel is basically our 70%. Our 70 here. And our extra is here, 799. So that gives us our Are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
Are you ready for the departure briefing?
Go ahead.
This will be a standard left seat departure. We're at a gate and pushback is required, so you will be handling the engine start. The departure runway and taxi routes will be assigned by ATC. For the taxi, this airport uses ASDEC, so turn on the transponder for taxi. Pilot flying nav source for the departure will be heading select. Anti-ice is not required today. As for the takeoff plan, we'll use flaps 10. For the routing itself, the departure will be an ATC assigned standard instrument departure. We'll use NTOP for the takeoff power, and the bleeds will be on. For the safety brief, any abnormality prior to 80 knots, I'll stop the aircraft on the runway. After 80 knots, I'll stop for an engine failure or fire. Anything after V1 will take it airborne. You let the tower know and we'll need a straight out. At 1,000 feet, we'll engage altitude hold, accelerate to V-climb, retract the flaps, engage IAS mode for our V-climb, and complete the memory items. Any questions?
That's checked and no questions.
Departure briefing complete.
Some people ask why I don't bother turning this one on. Most Q400s only actually run on one flight management system, so we don't bother. We do need to turn our track IR on for a second here, because when we do our pushback we're going to need that off. That's interesting, we're not getting a stall warning. Plane can't brake, so I'm not actually all that bothered.
Thank you.
And like I said, I've most likely messed something up. The big one here is I've not actually used this with this aircraft until now. I brought it ages ago before Christmas, and I've been a little busy. Just haven't gotten around to trying it.
May I take your food, please?
Here's the load sheet for you. Have a nice trip.
Thanks. There's the speaker. Reason we switched over is the flight attendant will, in a few moments, actually do her little cabin PA brief. So we're almost to where we will be doing our 24-hour checklist, system checklist, and then we'll be doing our pre-flight, and yeah. And of course we'll be entering our V-speeds and everything from here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight today. As you locate your assigned seats, please place your smaller items under the seat in front of you to provide more room for larger items in our overhead compartments. If you need assistance, contact the flight attendants. If you are unable to accommodate any item in the cabin, please bring it to the boarding door and we will check it for you. Also review the safety instruction in your seat pocket. If you're seated at an exit seat, also review the exit seating criteria.
Where is it on this one?
call, please? Thank you.
Oh, PA.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from the flight deck, this is the captain speaking. On behalf of the first officer and the cabin crew, I'd like to welcome aboard this flight today. Just a couple of quick words about safety. In a moment, the cabin crew will be giving you a safety demonstration. Even for the frequent flyers amongst you, I urge you to give this your fullest attention, as it's not just for your safety, but also for all those around you. Also, please remember to keep your seatbelt fastened whilst you remain seated, as even with the seatbelt lights extinguished, just in case of unexpected turbulence in the air. I would also like to remind all passengers that this is a non-smoking flight and that smoking aboard the aircraft is not permitted. As for now, we're just waiting for the final few pieces of paperwork, and we'll be able to close the doors, get our clearance from ATC and be on our way. With those formalities out of the way, please sit back, relax, make full use of all the facilities aboard this aircraft as you wish, and I'll talk to you all again in the cruise. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
24-hour system check. 24-hour system checklist. 24-hour system checklist.
Engine fire detection.
Test.
APU fire detection.
Test.
Baggage smoke warning aft and forward.
Test.
Stall warning test 1 and 2.
Test.
ADC 1 and 2.
Test.
Auto feather.
Test.
GPWS TCAS.
Test.
PA system. Trims.
Test.
24-hour system checks. Checklist complete.
Yes, we've done all the checks, hence why I was just test. Normally you'd run through the tests again, but yeah. So at this point we need to
Hi,
enter
Captain.
these.
The cabin is ready to go.
Thanks.
If you need anything, just let me know.
So our V1 will be 110 knots. Our V rotate will be 110 knots. Our V2 will be 112. Our V3 will be 123. And our V climb will be 143. This is giving us all our speed bugs and everything we'll need for our climb out. That's that done. And we need to set our MDA, but we can't forget that we set this to our acceleration height, which is normally about 1,000 feet above any obstacles in the area, so we're going to set our acceleration height to 1200. Just double check Cairns area. Yep, so we're well above any obstacles at 1200. And hi guys, as I've said way back, I'm a little slow in talking to people. I'm busy doing checklists and stuff like that. Before start checklist.
Stand by. Originating checks flow.
Before start checklist. Escape hatch. God, this thing is annoying at times. If I have to, I'll skip it. Before start checklist. Before complete. Complete.
Complete. Gear pins. Stowed. Pre-flight checks.
Complete.
Complete. External power. APU voltage.
Checked.
Checked. Escape hatch.
Closed.
Nose steering.
Off.
Flight guidance control panel set. Fuel quantity 2789 kilos on board.
Check. Checked. Set. Oh, come on, let me skip. Check. $720 required. To 2,774 on board. Skip. Repeat last.
Flight guidance control panel set. Fuel quantity 2788 kilos on board.
Fuel quantity 2773 on board. Where's the normal one for skipping? This is skip. 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 Repeat last.
Flight guidance control panel.
Skip.
Set. Fuel quantity 2788 kilos on board.
2778 kilos on board. 200 required. Skip. Skip. Screw you. Before start checklist.
Stand by. Originating checks flow.
Complete.
Complete. Gear pins. Stowed. Pre-flight checks.
Complete.
Complete. External power. APU voltage.
Checked.
Checked. Escape hatch.
Closed.
Nose steering.
Off.
Flight guidance control panel. Set. Fuel quantity 2787 kilos on board.
700 kilos required. $700 kilos required. $2,000 kilograms required.
Hydraulic number 3 pressure.
Check. Checked 3000 PSI. Check 3000 PSI.
Emergency brake. Pressure.
Park. Checked. Checked. Oh, for crying out loud. Skip.
Power levers.
Disc.
Condition levers.
Off. Fuel off.
Emergency light switch. Fasten seatbelt switch.
On.
On. Departure briefing.
Complete.
Complete. Before start checklist complete.
Thank God. Engine start checklist.
Battery master main auxiliary standby.
On.
Doors fueling lights.
Closed and out.
Anti-collision light.
Red.
APU bleed.
Off.
Engine clear on 2.
Clear on 2.
Engine start checklist complete.
Let's get this damn pushback done. Right, need to be able to see outside for a second. Good, we can go straight.
Now please release parking brake.
Parking brakes released.
Start engine 2, please.
Back now, you're clear to start the engine number 2.
Start 2 for me, please.
Starting 2.
Push back completely and set the parking brake.
Parking brake set. Can we get clearance at number 1?
The tow is free and clear of nose gear. Clear to start the engine number 1. Have a nice flight.
Clear on 1, starting 1. Clear on 1, starting 1. Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
You're clear to disconnect and go to hand signals.
Have a safe flight.
After start checklist.
Stand by.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board today. This is your purser speaking. Please direct your attention to the cabin crew for important safety information. There is an instruction card in your seat pocket that illustrates the safety equipment on board this aircraft. Regulations require compliance with this information as well as all crew instructions, the lighted information signs and posted placards. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle. Tighten by pulling on the belt.
External
To release your seatbelt, lift the metal flap on the buckle. It is our policy that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times while seated.
Main bus time.
Doors are clearly marked with exit signs and instructions of door operation. Each door is equipped with an escape slide. Locate the nearest exit to you and note that the nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, lights will illuminate the aisle. The cabin is pressurized. If there is a loss of cabin pressure, a panel will open and oxygen masks will appear. Remain seated with your seatbelt
Check level 1.
Pull a mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Oxygen will be flowing
full travel.
even though the bag may not inflate. Cover your
Complete.
nose and mouth with a
Nose
mask.
steering.
Place the elastic band around your head and tighten by pulling on the ends. Secure your own...
On.
Auto feather.
On. AF select.
Are you sure?
AF select.
Are you sure?
Auto feather select.
Engine braking.
Checked. End top set checked.
Batteries. Flaps.
Set 10. Set 10 set indicating.
10 set indicator. Auxiliary standby PTU pumps.
On.
On. Hydraulic pressure quantity.
Checked.
Checked. Hydraulic number 3 and elevator. Checked. Caution warning lights.
Checked.
Flight instruments, radios.
Set. Checked.
Checked. Altimeters.
1018. Set cross check.
1018. Set and cross-checked. Ice protection test.
Complete.
After start checklist complete.
Clear on the left.
And we're clear on the right.
So we're taking off on 3-3 obviously, so we'll get around to C2 here and then we'll take a quick look at the chart and see where we actually have to go. Seems we don't have ATC giving us directions. So, okay, this is hands 3-3s down at this end. Which basically means we need to go all the way down there.
Hello, flight deck. Okay, cheers. Captain, they're secure at the back.
Thanks. Before takeoff checklist to the line, please.
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure. FA notification received. Takeoff briefing complete. Cabin PA complete. Condition levers.
Max.
Max. Trims.
3 set.
3 set. Takeoff warning test.
Tested.
Flight controls checked and free. Flight taxi.
Flight.
Radar terrain. Radar on both sides. Transponder TCAS on out. Takeoff checklist completed to the line.
Below the line.
Bleeds min on. External lights on. Runway.
Runway 33, heading 326. Runway 33, heading 326.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Check power.
Power checked. Knots.
Check. Amen.
V1, rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Select headings.
Heading selected. Acceleration altitude.
Flaps up. Flaps up. Flaps 0. Flap 0. IAS 185. Climb checklist to the line.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
Climb checklist completed to the line.
2500.
Switch open to nav. Select nav.
Nav selected.
Select nav.
Nav selected.
Select nav.
Nav selected.
No, it's not. Autopilot's acting dysfunctional. So because of that, we are going to ignore the autopilot. For some reason it does not want to actually let me go to nav select mode, despite the fact that we are on, actually that may have been the reason there we weren't on FMS. There we go. Set IIS 180. Props 900 below the line. As we really should check what we planned this to be flight at 190, not what we need. Okay. So we need to increase this up a little bit. And the laugh here is a lot of people stuff up with the Majestic. They think that just doing this is all that you need to do. It's not. You can set this, and even though we're in an out mode, we need to actually make certain that we tap out cell. Otherwise you'll blow straight through the article. One 1013 set cross check.
1013 set and cross checked.
Who's FX, Dan?
To go, out cell.
Set cruise power. Set cruise power. Props 850. Props 850. Select props 850.
Set.
So okay, now that we're in the cruise and the like, I can actually take 5 minutes and address some stuff. I don't know what FXNAM runs, or who he is. I'm running Prepared 3D. I am who I say I am. I'm Robert Graham. Not FXDan or anything like that. This is Lockheed Martin's Prepared version 2.4, because in part you can't select, last time I checked, yeah, still can't. You can't tell it that you're running Prepared. You can only tell it that you're running FSX. I am currently using Active Sky Next with the Majestic Q-400-8. We have FS2 Cruise voice add-on installed for it. It's the first time I've used it with this aircraft, hence why there's been a few problems. I don't have the checklist printed out or anything like that like I normally would with it. On top of that we have Orbex's AU Service Pack 4 installed for terrain. I don't believe I've actually installed my cans and the like. Airports. I'm not 100% certain. On that though, so don't quote me on it. So obviously now that we're in the cruise, we can actually start looking at our upcoming descent and arrival. And the reason we will start looking at it around about now rather than further in is because this is a rather short flight. we actually have our descent coming up fairly soon. So we're going to have a quick look at active sky next here. We'll grab YBTL. We'll grab Townsville's data the easy way, because normally we could request it through ACARS or the like, or we could just ask ATC. But Townsville's QNH is 1018, wind is 060 at 8 knots, so it's from the easterly at 8 knots, and so if we go and pull up our charts again here, wrong one, our charts here, if we jump down to Townsville, and I'll do it this way. Simple. I've got the charts on my lap as I pointed out, but not everyone does, and great. I apologise if we get some lag on the stream for a second. I didn't realise I'd not actually already grabbed it. So, okay, we just grabbed Townsville. If we have a look at Townsville here, we'll notice basically runs almost, it's not quite north-south runways, but we'll be using, and there is a gravel like strip that runs east-west, but we'll be using good old 01, I believe it is, to land down here. I hate Navigraph at times. Page. So we'll be landing this way. We're coming in from the north at the moment from Spyro, so we can actually do a standard instrument approach. So let's get this in. Go menu, arrival. We'll be on runway 01. Apparently, that's a SID. We want to start. Of which there aren't any. There's only there's only procedures. Oh well, we'll shoot the ILS on runway 01, even though it's visual, which is this plate here. And the one that I actually have open and down in my lap. So the one in my lap is actually an ILS or Yankee, so it's slightly different. It's your back course for your door 180, rather than this section. So no star, but we will be doing a ILS 01 Yankee. And our transition will be the Townsville beacon. So if we come back here, we can double check. So what we do here is we delete this one, and we delete this one, which brings us to how we are meant to be going. And we actually need to start our descent, so we need to get our briefing done. So it'll be vectors, ILS Cat 1, flat 15.
Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
Okay, we will be arriving by ATC vectors. As for the approach, we can expect the ILS. Landing runway condition is dry. Anti-ice is not required. We will use flaps 15 for landing. The bleeds will be on. And for the minimum descent altitude, it's 1200 feet. After landing, please leave the APU off and leave the transponder on since this airport uses Aztecs. Lastly, it looks like we'll be assigned a gate. Taxi routes will be assigned by ATC.
And we actually had something set wrong there.
And no questions.
Approach brief complete.
Our MDA is actually 370. So
Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
Okay, we will be arriving by ATC vectors. As for the approach, we can expect the ILS. Landing runway condition is dry. Anti-ice is not required. We will use flaps 15 for landing. The bleeds will be on. And for the minimum descent altitude, it's 370 feet. After landing, please leave the APU off and leave the transponder on since this airport uses Aztecs. Lastly, it looks like we'll be assigned a gate. Taxi routes will be assigned by ATC. Any questions?
That's checked and no questions.
Approach brief complete. Are you ready for the approach brief?
And we forgot the APU,
okay,
so we'll see.
will
We've got to
be
tell them
arriving
again.
by ATC vectors. As for the approach, we can expect the ILS. Landing runway condition is dry. Anti-ice is not required. We will use flaps 15 for landing. The bleeds will be on. And for the minimum descent altitude, it's 370 feet. After landing, please turn on the APU and leave the transponder on since this airport uses Aztecs. Lastly, it looks like we'll be assigned a gate. Taxi routes will be assigned by ATC. Any questions?
That's checked and no questions.
Approach brief complete.
Okay, so we're going to start our descent now, that we've got all that done. Anyway, we're basically going to aim for 4th hour, which is the altitude we come in. We could do a VNAV approach, but VNAV in this is a pain in the rear. So we just did get it on, so we'll... We'll try and see if we can't get it to run on VNAV. And again, we could use our radios. Oh, go away. But we're not going to. 10.18. So we'll need that in a second. So we're starting our descent. We will now need to do our descent cross checklist to the line. Yeah, I will. And my takeoff was not the greatest, to be honest. I didn't account for a slight crosswind and almost ran off the runway, but we did get airborne before we left the runway, thank God. Descent checklist to the line.
Altimeters.
(1018) set cross check.
1018 set and cross checked. Fuel balance.
Check.
Check. Pressurization set. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival. Cabin PA complete. Fasten seatbelt switch.
On.
Approach and landing brief.
Complete.
Complete. Descent checklist completed to the line.
No, I actually did a what would have been a vectored departure. In part because I was having some problems getting some stuff done. It's the first time I've used FS2 Crew with the Majestic, and I was messing some stuff up. So I ended up doing a runway 33 departure, climbing to 1200, accelerating, and then turning back to come back over the beacon and join the airway. Which ain't exactly the way we'd do it if we had ATC on. Or even half a clue, but it worked for the purposes of what we were doing for this. It got me airborne and the like, and I'm down in Victoria, mate, down near Swan Hill. And I apologise if at times I stop responding to chats and the like. One, I've got a bunch of kidney pain at the moment from my medical condition, and at times I pause so you guys don't hear me wanting to scream. We actually did forget something naughty. This is in part my fault. We're doing a... What did I tell it we were doing? Flaps 15. Okay. YBTL. What we're doing real quick fast here is working out our landing data. We really should have done this before. So we're landing roughly 23050. So we want to set some bugs down here. We want to set this one to 114. Different people set this slightly different depending on what they want to do. This is our V go around, which is 104. This gives us two bugs that we can use to double check that we're not going massively off path. don't like our chances of actually hitting Townsville at height, but oh well. We'll trust VNAV. Not. Not seeing any real bad weather, so the other thing we'll do here is, given the terrain around Townsville, we'll switch to the terrain map. Anybody who either flies or anything up or lives up near Cairns and Townsville will know there is some high terrain all along this region, and you really do not want to run into it. Below the line.
GPWS landing flap. Selected 10 degrees. Fuel transfer. Off. Hydraulic pressure quantity. Check. Caution warning lights. Check. Approach flare lights. On. Ref speed switch modes.
Set. Offset.
Off. Set. Flight attendants notification complete. Descent checklist complete.
Okay, so mute that. Basically now we start running through to our initial approach fix. Which of course for us will be as we cross Townsville, and we need to bleed off some speed there. We need to actually keep an eye on our instruments. We will, as we cross over Townsville, we'll go to flaps 5, maintain 180 knots, and come and basically fly around to capture the glide slope, which we better actually double check we've got programmed in here. So we want this on 101 and 1009. Point 3. That will give us the ILS for Townsville. And just in case, we also want the NDB, which is on 276. The other thing we need to do I can remember how to do this format, and there we go. And we want to set our course for when we come in, which will be .017. Get us out of there. A little bit of cloud over Townsville there. It's Townsville just on our nose for anybody who does not know the region. Oh crap. We've tied our track IR button to our gear. Yeah, we'll have to fix that later. I'm going to have to do this and drag this across to another window.
To go, Alpha Cell.
Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Gear down.
Gear down.